How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping out another video. Right, guys, this is story in the Liverpool Echo, as you can see from the title. Sold in Liverpool, the £3,000 a year mobile phone that can be wiped even if seized by police. Now, this isn't a new story. It really isn't, guys. They're Encrypted phones or the PGP phones, pretty good privacy phones. If you are a law-abiding citizen, you probably won't know what these phones are. If you've been immersed in the criminal fraternity, in the criminal underworld or whatever, or you've been involved in serious organised crime and organised crime groups and stuff, you'll know what these phones are. I've never personally had one, but I'm just going to read the story, guys. We'll go into it after that. Right, so a gangland trial heard of the rise of ultra-secret phones beloved by gun runners and drug dealers. A new generation of unhackable mobile phones is allowing criminals to plot murders and drug deal with no fear their conversations will ever be exposed. Specialist handsets now boast software so advanced that all criminating information can be wiped from the device, even if it's been seized by the police. But the kill pill is typically unnecessary because the only time detectives have managed to peek behind an EncroChat lock screen is when they took a phone from the hands of a crook as he frantically types out a message. The rise of the Dutch Encro phones, which was revealed in an extraordinary detail during the Liverpool Crown Court trial over the gangland murders of John Kinsella and Paul Massey. While the technology is legal and was developed out of human rights concerns over privacy, the high degree of security they offer has made them attractive to criminals. Both Mark Fellows and Stephen Boyle owned Aquarius X phones preloaded with the software, which has made the investigation into their brutal exploits all the more painstaking for detectives. Not only did Boyle tell jurors Encro phones were commonly used, declaring no one even owns a normal mobile phone these days, he revealed his was bought in Liverpool, costing up to £1,500 for just 6 months' use. The court heard the mobiles could boot in two modes, giving them the appearance of a standard device to anyone, but for anyone that isn't in the know. Sorry, guys, the article's not that well written. A typical dummy Android homepage showing no SIM service or signal would appear on the screen should someone, such as a police officer, simply press the power button. To actually unlock the phone, the user would have to hold down the power button and volume buttons together, thus opening an encrypted partition. Even then, a 15-character password would be needed to decrypt the device, followed by a further 6-character home screen password. And built in the software is a series of further safety features, making them ideal device of choice for savvy criminals. If a police officer asks for the PIN to open the phone and the criminal instead gives them a 4-digit duress code, they might find themselves accidentally wiping all their hard-earned evidence from the hard drive. Most Encro phones come with the camera and microphone disabled, while a further bonus feature is a burn time for any message sent. This means a user can have their messages deleted after a set period from the recipient's phone, which can only be another Encro mobile. The company's website boasts its technology gives users the electronic equivalent of a regular conversation between two people in an empty room. The Kill Pill facility is available to Encro users, though the safety net also opens to owners of PGP, which is the pretty good privacy phones. The rivals the Dutch firm has apparently overtaken and which they openly mock and undermine on their website. Pretty good privacy phones previously offered criminals top security, but become less popular following suggestions the authorities have learned to decode them. This was evident in the case of the maniac, a gangster from Liverpool sentenced over a grenade and hostage plot in the Netherlands. His antics came to light after Dutch officers busted the PGP communications of the associates he was operating with. In the Massey and Kinsella trial, evidence was provided by expert witness Detective Constable Elliot Humphrey of the Metropolitan Police. DC Humphrey explained how his work for the Organised Crime Command Unit involved seizing firearms and multi-kilo consignments of drugs. The detective detailed out on their websites and marketing material. Encro say they disassociate themselves from any connections to state authorities. The firm has a website but no price list, meaning to buy one an interested party must contact them directly or go through a supplier. And no one has to go back to the person who supplied the device or EncroChat to buy a further 3-month service for around £650. For the initial outlay of £1,500, the purchaser could make a maximum of 30 minutes of calls, but they are rarely used for normal conversations. An added complication is Encro phones only operate over the internet, utilizing a messaging service similar to WhatsApp, so there are no itemized calls and texts. There were some of them. They were of some use to detectives in the Massey and Kinsella trial. Get my words out. However, officers were still unable to link the movements of the phones to their owners through cell sighting of data sessions. But there's no way of finding out the messages Fellows and Boyle sent to each other or other associates. Even when they could be seen on CCTV using the phones, despite seizing Aquarius X handsets from them both, Detective Constable Humphrey told the jury Encro phones were idiot-proof and user-friendly, certainly compared to the more complicated and outdated PGP phones. Remarkably, on the explosion in their use, DC Humphrey outlined they were just why they were a nightmare for police, stating these are evolution. The developers have perfected secure private communications. Quiz further, the detective described how Encro phones are delivered by top-tier crooks to their wholesale drug dealers, found wrapped in with 1 kilo packages of cocaine. Putting it bluntly, he added, no investigation is complete without one of these at the moment. That's the story, guys. Right, so like I say, they're similar to PGP phones. They're more advanced and supposed to be better security. PGP phones are, like I said, they've been around for the last couple of years, last several years. I mean, they've been used widely by criminal networks, like I say, from planning drug deals to plotting murder. If you are involved in criminality, right, too many people look at the crime they're going to commit and they're just like, right, we'll just do this and stuff like that, and they'll do the crime. And sometimes they don't put they might put the necessarily planning in, but they don't plan the deceit of the police, National Crime Agency as such. If you are immersed in a criminal world and you are involved in the criminal underworld and you are dealing with firearms, drug consignments being shipped into the country, national drug operations, murders, like I say, all and everything in between, you have to be digitally and forensically aware. Now, these phones are not showing up on cell sites, right? So if you're driving down the road, right, your signal is bouncing off cell sites left, right, and center, right? And if they, like I say, if they get your number, they can triangulate you between 3 cell site masts and pinpoint you. Example, if you go on your smartphone now and you go onto location and you go onto Google Maps and click your location, it pinpoints exactly where you are. And like I say, these smartphones, guys, that, like I say, if you're involved in criminal worlds, you want to be using Encro phones or you want to be using PGP phones. You do not want to be using normal mobile phones because you're banging off cell sites left, right, and center. You might think encrypted messaging apps like WhatsApp and stuff are impenetrable. That's simply not the case. And like I say, the amount of criminals I've been in prison with that have been caught because they're mobile phone. Now, like I said, when I was involved with doing what I was doing, we used to use radios. I wouldn't have a smartphone. Some people just use basher phones, like I say, £10, £20 phones, stick a SIM card in, top it up, never using a credit or debit card because electronically it comes back to you. So I used to, even when I was involved in criminality and stuff, I would the SIM card would never be registered. I would get somebody else. I might see a group of lads standing outside the shop and I say, come over here. They'd come over the road, they'd speak to me in an alleyway, say, right, go in there and get me a £20, I don't know, O2 top up or whatever the case may be. I say, and I'll give you the £5 or whatever. They're only young lads, like I say, trying to get some fags or something. So I'll give them a £5, or they come back, they give me the credit, top up the voucher, bam, bam, bam. Unregistered SIM card. The number would be recycled on a very regular pattern. I wouldn't even use the same phone because you said you might have receiving text messages. If you're involved in drug dealing or whatever the case may be, some people text, some people don't text at all. You do it on a phone. But like I say, these phones, that was me and that was then, and like I say, radios and just like basher phones and stuff. But if you're involved in high level, even higher level, like I say, murders and stuff like that, and arranging consignments of drugs, you want to be using encrypto phones or you want to be using PGPs. PGPs are yesterday's news. Like I said, they've been around for several years. Some people have never even heard of them. And why would you? If you're a law-abiding citizen, you're not going to know about PGP phones. But by buying an encrypto phone, like I say, it's expensive. Like I say, £1,500. But the software, the encrypted software that's on the phone, stops calls being listened into, the microphone's disabled, the camera's disabled. It's a secure connection of the highest order. They really, really are. And like I say, the fact is the demand for them is going to go through the roof. With fewer police on the streets, guys, more organised criminals, community police stations closing down and stuff. It's a criminal's paradise out there. But if you are involved in criminality, you have to factor in the deceit of law enforcement. You've got to be forensically and digitally aware. Always plan for the worst case scenario and cover your own ass before you're doing whatever you're doing, because if you do, it's going to be harder for the authorities to catch you. Like I say, people have smartwatches and stuff like that, which has got a built-in GPS system, global positioning system, that can be your undoing as well. Like, puts you wherever you've been. They can put you with that watch, like I say, whether it's a Garmin, whether it's a smartwatch, these iWatches, whatever, right? They can put you at the places of criminality and crime and stuff. And like I say, smartphones and smartwatches and stuff, they're incriminating a lot of people because they're not thinking, well, I've got this watch on, I'm going out committing crime, oh, it's just a watch, it's on my arm, I forget, do you know what I mean? But like I say, smartphones and stuff like that, if you're going out, have two phones, have a smartphone, have that at home, leave it at home, leave it like on Facebook or something, open, leave it there. You're still receiving text messages. Get rid of your basher phone. If you go out and commit a serious crime, you get rid of your basher phone. Like I say, you snap the SIM card, you flush it down a grid, you throw it in a river, whatever the case may be, you just obliterate that phone. And then say the police nick you and your smartphone is a legal phone and it's not been used for any sort of illegal criminality. A phone call, someone tries to ring you and you're at home, or that, like you received a text message, that phone on cell site will put you at home. It won't put you in and amongst whatever you've just been criminally doing. Like I say, that could be a murder, that could be dealing drugs, that could be arranging for consignments of drugs to be shipped in and dropped near the borders, or like I say, dropped near a seaport or something. Like just many different situations out there. But like I say, smartphones, a lot of people have ended up in prison because they think that they're clever with the smartphones, and the smartphones are actually incriminating you every single step of the way. They're bouncing off cell sites. You are, like I say, the first thing, my attitude when it comes to like preparing for crime and criminality on a high level is, if you fail to prepare to fail, because the planning is in, the proof is in the pudding, and the plotting is key, and you have to factor in, right? And then when you get arrested, right, example, if you get arrested with a phone or one of these PGP phones here, well, it's not PGP, this is the Encrypted, right? If you get arrested with either of them phones, right, and if you're involved in criminality, you should be given a no comment statement anyway, or you should be dropping a prepared statement denying the allegation and then saying, as a matter of courtesy, I will, like say you've left, I don't know, say you've gone out and committed crime and you say, look, I deny the allegation of, I don't know, murder, conspiracy to murder, conspiracy to like, import Class A drugs, whatever the case may be, right? Drop a prepared statement, deny the allegation, or you can simply go no comment, because if you start talking on camera, if you start answering the police's questions, the police will guarantee to ask you, if that phone is encrypted and it's got a password on it, right, and you are giving answers, they're going to ask you for the answer. Now, like I say, the phone is like two phones in one. You've got a no service sort of signal, sort of no connection sort of thing, and if you give the police the password, by pressing the wrong password in, it can actually reset, it can actually just clear everything off the device and you're home and dry. But if you haven't got one of them phones, because not a lot of people have got them, but people are aware of them, and it's just a smartphone, if you are commenting and answering questions, the first question during it, and it will come, if they seize your phone and your phone is key to the evidence to incriminate you, they will say, what is the password? If you're giving a statement or you're talking on interview because you think you're clever, my answer would be don't, because one of the questions will be, what is the password for your phone? Right? Just, you're right to say no comment on answering, like just stay, you can stay silent if you want to. That the jury, if it goes to trial and if you are charged and it goes to court, your silence the jury can draw adverse inference, which really means that they can decide that you went no comment interview because you are indeed guilty. They can make that assumption. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there anyway. So Encrypted phones, like I say, are overtaking PGP phones, pretty good privacy phones, as the phones of choice. These are readily available on eBay and stuff like that. They are very popular, they are expensive, but that expense could keep you out of prison for a very long time, even life, depending on what your intentions are. Anyway, guys, I'm going to stop talking. Leave it there. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.